Kenneth Ewan goes to the pull-off and will join the Kool-Aid Kid. He may have company because next up is the 1988 points champ in two-wheel drive, Bill Roseberg, in the Rice Burner.
Currently number 3 with his Toyota.
He is from Alberton, Pennsylvania, not too far from Pittsburgh, and is a school bus contractor. Relative newcomer to the sport, only a couple of years, but has jumped into it big time with this truck. $30,000 rig is what he figures he has.
And that may be a little short on
little on the shy side. This is Bill Roseberg. He's got the green flag. He can do it. Maybe on the shy side too of a full pull.
Had the blower off that motor earlier this afternoon, and they're doing a lot of work on it. Scott, Bobby, and all of them were over there flashing, but
Invader.
Well, when it gets ready to go, Mike is ready.
The Chevy cab, 541 cubic inch engine, and he just says flat out, I'm the best.
Who am I to argue with him? He offered to let me drive that.
You should have taken him up on it.
Well, that may be another story.
I will ride with you if you drive.
Oh, kid, you don't know what you're in for.
Whoa!
Into the sandbox.
Man! Call Princess Leia. Tell Luke Skywalker to lay off the lasers. The Darth Invader has arrived.
Thought about a cat going to the sandbox is what it looked like.
Going to the sandbox and doing its business.
Let's watch him. You know, he doesn't have all that ground speed with this thing, but he's sure got a great amount of traction. It's just, you know, it's not a picture-perfect pull, but it's good enough tonight to put him in the pull-off. Look at this. Hello, Wall. Just kind of kisses the sandbox, and away he goes.
Full pull for Mike Slater. He is in the big show. Well, down around Lexington Way, there's an old boy named Alan Gaines, just on the shy side of 50. And among his prized possessions is this two-wheel drive truck, the Orange Blossom Special. Alan is not here tonight. He told Scott Dews, look, go ahead, drive it. You bring it back with a full tank of gas, right?
I would imagine he told him a little more than that. Scott is currently ranked number 2 in the nation.
There's a nice shot of Scott.
Scott's doing a great job. He's number 2 in the nation, and he's doing a heck of a job for Alan Gaines this year.
Alan's off driving his other vehicles, so Scott gets a little OJT on the job. He can do it. That's quite enough, Mike.
Kent, I noticed at the last minute they made a gear change on this truck.
Just before he took off.
Just before he pulled out of the pit and got out on track, he made a gear change. I don't think it was the right decision, now that we look back on it.
Is it tough to change gears, Mike, on these things?
Well, some of them with the SDS boxes, you have, you know, it takes 5.
You have to go under the truck and do it?
Yeah, a lot of times you do. Depending on how it's set up, some of them come out the top, some drop from the bottom. But I think they made a gear change on this right at the last minute. I think if he had to do all over again, he'd say, no, I'll pass.
More two-wheel drive action coming up from St. Louis in just a moment. Kool-Aid Kid went the full distance before. Bobby Johns almost drove it out of the building, and he'll have to do that in light of what the Darth Invader has done.
Well, they've heavied up the weight box. The sled's going to come down on them a little harder this time, making it tough. Here comes Bobby. Look at this. Look.
That's a good pull.
Oh, man.
That is a good pull. And Bobby Johns asked for everything that truck had after about the first 20 feet. He really did.
The box top.
Does he know where the camera is?
Oh, does he?
No trouble finding that camera.
No, Bobby has no problem with that.
And Bobby Johns from Glendale, West Virginia, just a good old boy that runs a speed shop, may have set himself up to win the two-wheel drive competition. He does have some pretty tough stairs to climb, though, with the Darth Invader and the Oklahoma Warriors still to come. Kenneth Ewan coming back for his chance at the pull-off. He had a marvelous first pull right into the gravel pit area that separates the track from the stands. Great shot there of Kenneth's engine. And he will strap on the helmet and let it wail. Mike, you talk about this truck. There's so much work that goes into this truck. So many people have a hand in it. Not just the guy behind the wheel, but the mechanics and the driver. He and his wife, Paula.
It's a full-time profession.
Here he goes. Wow, that is real close.
Ooh, he jumped on it right in the hole, both feet. I mean, he just asked and received.
You know, we're sitting, our vantage point, Mike, is about, I would say, maybe 75, 80 feet up off the arena floor, and our booth here vibrated as that truck went down the track. That is the kind of power and energy that Kenneth Ewan is putting out.
They give him the green light. It's like a drag race. I want it now. Here he comes. Takes just a second for the tires to hook, and when they do, this beautiful Ford truck lifts the front end to the sky of this arena and heads down the track wide open. It is so close.
Mike, it's 9 inches. Kenneth Ewan has taken the lead by 9 inches over Bobby Johns. That's the difference. But the Darth Invader has yet to run. The Darth Invader almost drove it right through the wall at the other side of the track. And Mike Slater won't have to do that. He's only going to have to go 163 feet to win. But he's got every bit of power to do that.
He's got all the capabilities in the world, and you know, he says he works better in front of the TV camera.
Is that right?
That's right.
He likes it when we have him on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Here he goes.
Oh, did we smoke a clutch?
He had problems right from the beginning. He never got that front end up in the air.
I think we smoked the clutch on it.
Yeah.
Black smoke rolling out from underneath that.
That was smoking like a bad cigar at the end of that pull. So Slater departs without the prize and having to invest some of his hard-earned money in fixing the Darth Invader. And Kenneth Ewan at the pull-off. Kenneth Ewan in the Oklahoma Warrior, 162 feet and 11 inches. Wins the pull-off in the two-wheel drive class by a scant 9 inches over Bobby Johns and the Kool-Aid Kid. And it's the Darth Invader that will place here in the pull-off tonight. Stand by, because we've got more action coming up from St. Louis. The tractors are next when Mike Gallaway and I continue in just a moment. Back in St. Louis, we're ready for the tractors. Modified tractors, 7,200 pounds, which means what, Mike Gallaway?
Cannot weigh over 7,200 pounds, and kind of let your pocketbook and your conscience be your guide on the motors, and none of these guys have got a conscience at all. 3 engines, and they're all Aries, and he is currently #1. He's last year's national champion. He's leading it now.
Bill Leishner, the dirt. Tractor shake, rattle, and roll, or what?
I mean it.
That thing vibrated right through me. The Dirt Slinger. What an apropos name following a national election.
Boy, is that tough or not?
He slings dirt like a bad politician. Bill Leishner, The helmeted one.
Look at the tire speed on this. Motors are wide open, and Willie's got to be proud of this one. If he's watching it, get out of the hospital, get well, Willie. Skating it around, look at it, wide open and really on a roll.
Oh, man.
And they're yelling full bull, and Bill is still full pulling it.
That is what we refer to in the business as full tilt boogie. Bill Leishner with the full pull. First out of the chute, and now the man to catch. Well, Mike, I don't think anybody would get upset if I said that this is the prettiest competitor in the Arfons family. I don't think Tim would get upset, and I know that Art would not get upset.
You know, Ken, for once in your life, you said something that's right.
I may have stumbled onto something, huh? Dusty Arfons. She calls herself the Dragon Lady. Yet another in a long line of the competitors in the legendary Arfons family, and driving Dad's old tractor. Akron, Ohio is home.
Isn't it great? You see a father and a daughter.
Yes, it is.
Involved together.
Yes, it is.
It makes me have something to look forward to.
Well, being the dad of 3 girls, I could see it. You know, it might not be long, but when you retire, I'll be sitting up here with one of the Gallaway kids.
That's possible. They all talk a lot.
There's Art, and watching Dusty as she warms it up. Art, 63 years young. We teased him earlier tonight that he's booked into several arenas in the year 2000.
Fire in the hole.
And it will flame out as Dusty warms up. There it is.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is a helicopter engine. Turbine engine.
I wonder if someone was giving a traffic report one time with that motor.
You never know. I wonder if it was built at the GE plant in Cincinnati.
Now, that's possible.
Here comes the Dragon Lady. Right on, down the track.
Oh, come on, Dusty.
She had to shut that down because she's about to wipe out one of the other tractors.
She cannot steer this with the rear brake. Lock rear differential, unlike any other tractor, she has to let it ride. She's got the brake. They will not steer this tractor. When it wants to go out of bounds, it is going out of bounds.
The Dragon Lady breathing fire tonight, but not quite enough. 124 feet and 8 inches for Dusty Arfons. More tractor pulling coming up from St. Louis in just a moment. The door tonight. That was our first competitor, the Dirt Slinger. But Bill Leishner may have his hands full right now because Art Arfons, the legend, the Duke of Akron, Ohio, will now hook up and try to join Leishner in the pull-off.
Bill's only got one person to worry about.
And he's got a lot to worry about in Art Arfons because this is a guy that can force it.
He might as well have 100 things to worry about. He'd be just good shape.
Now, what is Dusty is that's Dusty Arfons adjusting the camera next to Art. What does Art take a picture of himself as he drives so he could smile and maybe send back some postcards?
No, but what he does do is take a picture of about 10 gauges on his right that he cannot watch as he goes down the track. As soon as it's over with, out to the bus. They'll run the videotape. He'll watch the gauges on his television, and that's the way he monitors the motor. If he's got a motor in trouble, he can tell by watching the videotape at a later date.
Stand by for fire and fury from the green monster. Art Arfons is about to light it up. He's got the green flag.
Well, now, it's so critical, Ken, right? You're at the point right now that you've got to worry.
You're warming the engines up. It's a helicopter engine, and if you've ever flown in a helicopter, you know the engines have to warm up. But the flames will let you know when it's there. There's the start, and watch the flare.
Bring the power on. No transmission, direct drive. He doesn't have to worry about the gear that he's going to choose.
There it is. Here he goes.
He can go out.
As again, he drifted to the left.
It came around and
he
saved it.
He saved it at the end, but it took everything he knew about tractor pulling to save it. The replay
Down the barrel.
He's going to come right into your easy chair on this.
Down the barrel for Art. Watch the front end pick up and then go to the left. On the brake a little bit. Bring it around. Come on, Monster. It never does come around, but he saves it in bounds. That's all that matters.
It is a full pull for the Green Monster, and Art Arfons will jump into the pull-off with Bill Leishner head-to-head as they shoot it out for dominance in modified tractor pulling. They say Missouri is the show-me state, so we're going to show you the pull-off. Only two competitors, the dirt slinger, Bill Leishner, and Art Arfons in the Green Monster. I'll tell you what, this dirt slinger, you can just feel it go through your body. That's the kind of power and fury it puts out.
It's amazing the horsepower that comes out of this machine. And, you know, you feel it.
What it must feel like for Leishner behind the wheel. He has to feel it as strong as anyone.
You imagine what it's like to ride that tractor. Well, Bill has ridden it to a very fine pull.
Bill Leishner, 161 feet. So now that's what Art Arfons has to equal if he wants to win this. Not equal, he has to exceed it. Now here he is, Art Arfons, who had went the full distance in his first pull. Mike, he battled the left side of the track and just barely kept his front wheels in. What strategy would you think he would employ now to prevent the same thing from happening?
I think you're going to try to run the right-hand lane. You know, that's the only thing to do. You run it hardest to the right. There's the camera that's shooting the gauges for him. And it also gets a shot of it. Look at the fire burning off the left side. Unintentional fire there from Art. A little excess fuel in that big turbine.
The other question becomes heating a turbine up and shutting it down and then coming back 3 or 4 minutes later and heating it up again. Is that a problem?
No, that will work for him. There was a shot of the computer, onboard computer for this machine. This guy is so brilliant when it comes to the building and the maintaining of these turbine engines and any kind of a motor.
Art Arfons
takes a lot of surplus equipment and turns it into something exciting.
We'll wait for the same kind of flare that we saw when he made his original pull.
And what's the mark to beat, Ken?
161 feet. That's what the dirt slinger did. GE turbine engine.
Uh-oh, we've got a little bit of a problem. That flame's not right. Flame is not right. Dusty's telling him to shut down. There's a problem. He's going to go with it, but there's a problem in it. Whoa! The right motor, now it comes on at the end. The motor came back right at the end. I think that motor was dead. I don't think the engine was running until right at the end it looked like it ignited and took off, and that may have been enough to put him in the lead.
Unbelievable. Art Arfons ditching the call to kill the engines. Flames flying behind his back may have driven to the wind.
It is amazing, and we will look at it on the replay and see if
daughter Dusty said, "Stop it,
Dad, that's
it down."
Now look.
And he said, "Bag that, I'm going."
The motor on his left, we know, is cooking. Right. I don't think that motor on the right is running. Now let's watch him. That motor on the right would be his right. When you see it come in, the tractor just takes off and goes down the track. Gets him another 10, 12, 15 feet. There it is. Look at it. Look at that. Art Arfons has got to be so proud of that.
Well, that kick in right at the end probably is what did it for him. Just matter of fact, another day at the office for Art Arfons. Well, you know what's coming up next. We don't call the monster trucks for nothing. Up next, the battle of the monster trucks. And I mean, it's not just going to be car crushing. It's going to be agility and standing up on wheels and crushing chrome. And it's all next. So stay tuned. Broo with the now seemingly mythical Mike Gallaway. And we're ready for the battle of the monster trucks. And also a demonstration deluxe by none other than Mike Gallaway of how a monster truck is driven. Mike will give us a first-hand look. But first, we'll go trackside for all the action. Mike, what's on the menu tonight?
Well, we're going to do 3 different things. We got a freestyle competition. That'll come first. Then we've got a timed event. And then we've got a jumping contest. So a lot of exciting things coming up.
It's just Bearfoot.
Here he comes. Look out. Oh. Working it over, isn't he?
Really is a light truck by weight and monster truck.
Oh, yeah. He can do anything in this segment. He's got about a minute and a half to do anything he wants to do. It's freestyle. You go out there and feel it out yourself. No rules, nothing. Warming it up.
You know, it's interesting. Fred Shaffer wants us to make sure that we say he's from Pontoon Beach, Illinois, not Granite City. He said the mayor of Pontoon Beach wants to say that.
The mayor's here, somewhere here tonight.
He's very proud of Fred.
Now, Fred, this truck is so innovative. It's stretched 10 inches. That's the one has happened. What? He's got the steering problem. Uh-oh. Big steering problem. Nothing's working. Watch that steering wheel. Shutting it off. Unbuckled.
This is not good.
No, it is not good. But look at the tires. They're split up, and now they go underneath. There's steering problems, no doubt. They're underneath it.
This is not good.
No, this will be a crushing blow to Fred. And the skin on the steering. When you break the steering on one of these things, it's usually not a situation that you can repair immediately. Now there's oh, wait a minute, it may be. That looked like a belt he pulled out. Okay, he just said, I've got some out in my hauler. Go get it.
Mike, I think we'll see where it went bad for Fred Shaffer right here.
Well, front end working up in the air, really climbing high, working hard. Now, whipping around, watching the steering wheel up on top. His hand.
Off the car.
He's still got steering right now. Right now, Steve cut the wheels, the tires respond, everything's working. Now watch inside. That's the key to the situation. Brings it back around, and he's still okay, but he's in a straight line. I think right in here is when the steering goes on it. Watch him.
See the fishtail in the back?
See, he's got the rear tires cut, and he wants to cut the front, but they're not responding. They're not beckoning his call. He immediately knows what's happened. Look at those rear tires, how short he's got them cut, and he's saving it from going into the wall.
Yeah.
The front end, well, it just won't steer at all.
Well, here comes the legend. Here is Bigfoot. And this is his little freestyle part of the show. Jim Cramer. We all know he is a driver deluxe, and we know the owner is Bob Chandler.
Well, last night in this competition, so hot and heavy, Cramer put a tremendous jump on, destroyed the front end. I mean, wiped it out. At 5 o'clock this morning, they unloaded this truck at their Bigfoot shop in Hazelwood.
Not too far from here.
Bob Powell Freeman, Roy Hoosier, and Jay Deisman were at that shop at 5 a.m. and put this truck together so it could do this.
Oh, man! Oh, man! And
that is not as easy as it looks.
Boy, you know, and we're going to see you inside this in just a little bit.
Look, there is the kill switch. That man has it all in his hand.
We're going to see you inside this in just a bit, and you can attest that when you land, it is not a soft landing.
No, it's so much tougher than you ever thought.
There is Bigfoot, Bearfoot behind him, undergoing repairs.
Trying to repair that truck.
Here comes...
Cramer will play the crowd for everything he's worth. Look!
Oh, man!
Woo!
A leap farther than before, and Cramer is not done yet.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He's just getting warmed up, you might say. He knows this truck. He is this truck.
Perhaps now a flying start over the 8 relics at center track.
Little walk, now punch the throttle.
Plenty of air that time, too.
He's playing with it. He's actually playing with it.
These trucks are so powerful, you have to respect what they can do, because if you don't, you could seriously damage the truck and injure yourself.
Oh, and it'd take a heartbeat. That's all it takes. But the best part about it, this truck with the kill switch, the remote radio can shut you down. That is what makes, well, that's the only reason I would ever get in it, because I think it's safe.
So now this is a running start, Mike?
Now this will be a standing start. They'll go down, make a loop, and over the cars. The one that does it the quickest is the winner. Jumps on it hard, makes it around the cone. Tight turn, tight, uh-oh, Cramer, what are you going to do? Uh-oh, whoa, drive it out. Get on the brakes, get on the brakes.
That is one whale of an effort.
Well, see, he was in trouble, but you've got to get on that throttle. If you get in trouble, you've got to nail the throttle.
Now, if he didn't nail the throttle, he would have been a gunner.
He would have rolled over.
Yeah.
But if you stay on the gas, it'll pull you out of it. The front tires will pull you out of any kind of a bind you get into. When I got in the truck earlier this afternoon, that was the main thing that Jim stressed to me.
I can't wait to see this.
When you're in a bind, nail the throttle. Let's watch. Start is good. Start is excellent. Goes down, but he doesn't get the tight turn. This truck doesn't turn all that tight anyway. But he slings it, he tries to bring it around. It won't do it. He's way off course, but he goes on and goes to the cars. Now, when that happens, he's got 2 on, 2 off. Here, leaning hard to the right. Nail the throttle. The front end comes up, back on the throttle. Settle the truck down and get on those brakes before you get to the end.
Well, that's very delicate, the time he comes off the cars, and he has to be full throttle till he hits the brakes to avoid some sort of an accident at the other end.
He could not come off the throttle and off the cars at the same time. He had to stay on it. Now, this is a visual check. They do this after every run. They go over this truck. They're trying to find out if anything...
Any parts broken?
Is broken.
Check the tires, I would think.
They look at the tires. They look at the plumbing on the steering. They look at the shocks. They look at the brace supports. I would say his
truck looks
crawls
okay.
back in. The truck is in good shape.
Go ahead and change the cassette tape. Maybe put on a little Fleetwood Mac.
I don't think that's what he had in mind. I checked it out earlier. The AC is not what you'd want. And the stereo, it breaks up a little bit in midair.
Bigfoot putting on a show tonight in St. Louis. Drive the monster trucks and you think, well, it looks pretty easy, like taking the old pickups down to the corner store for a loaf of bread. It is a lot more difficult than that. Our Mike Gallaway had a chance to talk to Jim Cramer about what it feels like to drive a monster truck.
Jim Cramer, if I was going to drive Bigfoot, what would I have to have?
Well, Mike, you need a couple of different items. First of all, let me show you. You'd want to have a kidney belt because of the bounce you take in the truck. First of all, you put that on and lap it up real tight.
That doesn't look very stout. Will that do the job?
Oh, it sure will. Now, next
What's
thing
this?
you need is a circular collar here around your neck.
Okay.
You put that up, tighten it up.
Now, what's this for?
is keep the whiplash.
When you
You
land?
hit the car, see, the truck is going up, and it throws your neck back. Of course, you got the forward motion, so it gives you a whiplash effect. Now, this is actually a brace or a helmet support. You put that on, put the helmet on top, helmet rests on that, and it'll help your head support the way of that helmet.
Now, is this a good helmet? 'Cause I want a good helmet.
Mike, this is my helmet. It's the best. It's Kevlar. Simpson makes it. It's very light. We like them because they're very lightweight. And because of the extreme whiplash we have, we go to an extra lightweight helmet.
Okay, you've talked me into doing this. What do? I'm in the truck, and let's say we're started towards the cars. What's my first move?
First of all, you line up straight. That's right. You go approach the cars at a walk speed.
Just like I'd walk down the street.
That's right. All right, you concentrate, okay? Because
Okay.
everything's going to happen fast.
Okay.
Come up to the cars, a foot away from the cars, burp the throttle. I mean burp, I mean about a quarter throttle.
Just touch it and get off of it.
That's going to throw the front end up,
Okay.
all right? You'll momentarily come off the throttle. The front end starts to come down.
So do
Now,
I mash it again
Almost
then?
immediately, the back tires are approaching the cars.
Okay.
A foot before the back tires hit the cars, you burp that throttle again. That way there you'll build momentum, and the truck will actually throw itself on top of the cars. And all you have to do is hang on and drive off the other side.
Wait. All you have to do is what? Hang on?
Yes, because while all this is going on, you're going to be jostled around and everything else. You'll be using all this fine equipment.
Now, wait a minute. You told me that this was real easy.
Easier than falling off a log. The only thing you're doing is climbing something. You're not falling off.
We'll take a look.
Well, lo and behold, not only is Mike Gallaway talking to Jim Cramer, he has some way convinced Cramer and Bob Chandler to let him loose in Bigfoot. Now, Mike, how did you arrange that?
A lot of talking has been going on for years. Right here, you're rolling back. I've got it neutral.
Wait a minute, it's taken you years to convince him to do this?
Convince me to do
Oh,
it.
convince you? Okay.
Got it neutral. I put it up in drive. Put it in four-wheel drive. I'm easing it forward. Flip it into four-wheel drive. It's in two-wheel drive now. I let it roll. It's just at a walking pace. I'm leaning out the window, and I'm gauging myself. Line up. Nail the throttle. Front end up. Hit it again.
Oh.
Right on top. Bounce. And off the other side.
Now, you're moving around inside that cab.
It's great. It's entirely different than you could ever imagine. You get bounced around from the waist up. That's where you're taking the beating. You're pretty well strapped in. You got all your equipment on, but from the waist up, you're being chasseled around a whole lot inside that cab. You got to think. I mean, you got to really put yourself to the test and think about what's going on all the time. I mean, you got to have it on your mind. This is so much horsepower, and so many things can happen. I've watched it for years. This is my first trip, and it was great.
Well, you look like a pro. Could you feel the sensation of weightlessness when you went over the cars?
It didn't last that long. It did not last that long. I mean, it was just a heartbeat, and Jim had gone over with me what to do, when to get on the throttle, and here's old shaky legs crawling out of the truck.
Slow down here, Mike. How does it feel to drive a monster truck?
It's wild. It's exciting. It's unbelievable. When you're coming up to the cars, like you said earlier, everything happens so fast. I mean, it's just instantaneous. I had to have the back bumper dragging the ground. I mean,
Mike, I
Okay.
want you to realize you have passed monster truck A, okay? But the back bumper was not touching the ground. You used about probably 1/8 the potential of this truck. So you got a long way to go, but I think you can make it.
I feel pretty safe. You did have the kill switch.
Yes, sir. I had the killer button right here.
So you would have, if any problems, you could have taken care of it.
I could have killed you from a half mile away.
I like it, and it's a lot of fun. I don't want to do it for a living. You're safe with me.
Just when I thought I saw potential there for a good co-driver, too, and you're going to back out on me.
Yeah, my legs can't stand it. They're shaking real bad.
Here's what it looks like inside the cab. Mike, do a little bit of bouncing.
Well, a whole lot of bouncing, Ken, and you got to look at it this way. This is not a big-time, long-distance, high-air velocity jump. This is kind of a wimpy deal. You
Well,
know,
it was your first time.
well, true, but still look at the punishment your body goes through. Lean out. Now, that's where I'm lining everything up. I'm getting a good idea. Get back in, get me a good seat. Here we go. I'm rolling, now I'm up. Now, there's the landing. There's the back part of it.
Did your head hit the wheel?
I don't think so. I never, of course, who would know? It
Look
looks
at
like
you
it.
looking at the camera.
It was kind of exciting, wasn't it, Gallaway?
He's saying, did I do that?
I'm not sure. It felt like I could have, you could have driven a truck underneath it, how high it was. It was great, Ken. It's got to be the highlight of my career.
Well, so much for the rookies. We're going to take a look at a real seasoned pro, Jim Cramer, who does this for a living, not a hobby. Down on the track right now in Bigfoot. Bigfoot, of course, is the founding father. Every time I see Bigfoot, I think of that Clint Eastwood movie. What was it, Every Which Way But Loose? Where I guess Bigfoot rose to national esteem, and its birthplace is right here in St. Louis.
The actual first movie was Take This Job and Shove It.
Johnny Paycheck sang the song.
Sang the song, and that was the first movie this truck appeared in. And, you know, gosh, they've done continuous movies. They just finished a new one. Now, he's going to go for a distance jump. They shortened the launch area. Doesn't have a whole lot of room to go. But there's not much shutdown on the other end. Right in the middle of the track is a big concrete pillar.
Yeah, you would try to avoid that, I would think.
No doubt.
Well, Bigfoot will now...
Standing stop. Here he goes. Jump time.
Whoa!
Beautiful.
Whoa! One bounced it off.
Get on the brakes and shut it down. Beautiful job. Outstanding. Now, the tape comes out.
Looks like he put his front tires down in the middle or end of that fourth car, and that's where they're measuring right now at center track.
It's about the right at the fender, far fender
Right.
of the fourth car.
Got 4 cars in before those front tires came down.
Now, they probably don't have 25 feet of starting area. Look at the short launch area. He's on the throttle hard and hits the cars. Flying, 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 and they're looking at where the rear tires landed.
And then get on to brake jig.
You bet.
Well, whatever was ailing Fred Shaffer, it is now fixed. And Bearfoot, I guess, will now move to the standing start that Bigfoot performed so admirably.
Well, he's one down going into this, Ken, so he's got to come on strong.
By just watching him now, he's got a little bit of a flare coming out of the left side of his engine.
All right, just the setup. An alcohol-burning Chevrolet. He's almost the only man I know of that runs this kind of a motor in a monster truck. Hard-hitting, big horsepower motor.
This is a new truck, so obviously there's some bugs that have to be worked out of it.
New setup on the clutch. He's running a flipper clutch, all race-type stuff. But he's good. He knows what that truck can do. As you said, though, learning process is still going on.
This should be his event because it is a racing truck.
Good start. Now off hard turn. A good turn. Good turn. Still in good shape. Here he comes. Beautiful job. He's on it. High in the air.
Man.
Good.
Great.
Hold on. Oh,
Great.
Steps down. Great.
Off the cars, full throttle, and then hitting the brakes.
Shuts it down. Good job. Now he's going to come back. Got the jump. He still has to make his jump. A short launch area, but I think, Fred, you know, on this situation, with the big horsepower motor that he's got, this jump situation is really going to help him. He's got a big horsepower. The motor's going to come to life in a hurry. He's got a lot of instant speed, and that may be what he needs.
A lighter truck, I think, would have an advantage here. Wouldn't you think, Mike?
No doubt. Jim Cramer has came back into the arena, and he will be watching Fred. Clear the tunnel area out. This is where it gets exciting. It's put up, shut up time. Listen to the big motor bark. .23.6 is the footage that they're giving us.
23.6 is what he's got to be.
And this is a standing, short run jump. And he's going to the right-hand side of the cars.
I think he's done it.
He has ripped the door off of it. He blew the doors off
Fred
of it.
Shaffer has blown the doors off, but I think he has done it. And just looking from where they're going to measure, he has. Fred Shaffer.
Now, you know what this boils down to? Who won that time competition?
That's right.
That is the key factor. Bigfoot won the freestyle. Fred has won the jump. But who won that freestyle?
have to wait as the officials tally up the points. But Fred Shaffer from Pontoon Beach, Illinois, has really come back in a gutsy show and has put on a display for this crowd. Fred Shaffer left nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing on the line.
Here's what I thought happened. He had the power, and he had a lightweight truck. He really hit the cars hard. He's flying, but look at this landing. Watch the door. Ripped off the side of it. Now hard on the brakes. Fred is really, really trying hard to shut it down, and does.
Yes, he does.
It was a good job, but, you know, that's where that big horsepower, high alcohol burning Chevrolet come into play.
Boy, is that an exciting truck. It really is an exciting truck. The Barefoot Racer and Fred Shaffer.
It's the truck of the future.
Mike Gallaway, Fred Shaffer sure put on a show after having a little problem going to the truck for some parts. He comes back and he wins the Battle of the Monster Trucks tonight.
I should say so.
Matter of fact, the man of the hour, the pride of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, is Trackside. Congratulations, Fred.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What happened down there? You broke something in the steering?
The power steering belt broke, and it was only 3 weeks old. I guess I'm going to have to put double belts on it because it really shouldn't have did that.
But you had it in your car, I guess, or your truck, huh?
Yeah, we try and keep all that kind of stuff like that just in case it would happen. Although, like I said, the belt was brand new.
I would think in this kind of competition that you have a distinct advantage having a lighter truck. It seems, particularly in jumping, to be a bit of an advantage.
Yes, it is. For the last few years, I've had a disadvantage with a heavy truck, and then so now, you know, it's maybe more my way with the Barefoot Racer.
Well, watch the monitor down on the track, and Mike Gallaway and I would like you to lead us through this jump. Mike, it was an incredible jump for Fred.
Oh, Fred, excellent job. What's happening? Short runway here.
Well, I'm, of course, got the pedal to the metal, and I'm shifting my Lincoln about now and trying to get as good a launch as I can. And you see, for a short distance, it was pretty good.
Look how hard it gets in the air.
Fred, you blew the doors off.
Blow the doors off.
That's easily fixed, though, I take it.
Hey, Fred, one of the things I'm noticing about these tires, and I don't know whether you've got to see enough video to notice this, they are not collapsing all the way to the rim. So the other Terry tires, when you hit them and land on them, they collapse so that the rim was actually on the ground.
Right.
Are you noticing it in the ride when this truck lands that these tires aren't collapsing that bad?
Yeah, right now I'm still experimenting with the air pressure because the tires are brand new, and so we're still messing around with that. And that's a sharp eye, Mike. You're a pretty sharp man to notice that.
Well,
we think so.
Fred, congratulations. You know, an outstanding job, and hey, it's been a long time coming.
Well, thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you, Fred. We appreciate your time. Go on home and feed the bears, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Fred Shaffer, the winner in Barefoot tonight in the Battle of the Monster Trucks. Mike Gallaway, it's been a heck of an evening. The two-wheel drives were unbelievable. Art Arfons gives us a show on the tractors, and Fred Shaffer caps it off tonight in the Battle of the Monster Trucks.
It seems like a night where you pulled it out if you're a winner right at the last second.
And that's what champions are made of. I enjoyed it. See you down the road. The Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Truck Cold